Hi, my name is Ryan, and welcome to the second video in the story of how I came up with the story of the American Christmas classic, Ride the Bomb to Hell. Now, you heard about the elf on the shelf and all that kind of nonsense, and that's kind of where the idea was going. However, at the time, I was also reading Lord of the Rings for the first time, and this was in, my goodness, I think this was in 2017, 2018. Now you're probably thinking, what kind of nerd are you? You didn't read Lord of the Rings until you're like in your mid 40s. And that's true. I wasn't a very good nerd. Matter of fact, my nerd license has got some little clippings on the ears because I'm not doing my diligence of, upholding the nerd status. However, I would beg to differ. I just didn't read it because I didn't care. And I saw the movie, so I thought, what else is there to watch? It's like, or read, like, why am I going to read that? And I thought it was a really cliche novel at the time. I thought everybody read Lord of the Rings. Everybody's trying to spin off Lord of the Rings. You go to the bookstore and you see all the sci-fi sections. I mean, tell me what sci-fi book out there that hasn't been inspired by Lord of the Rings. So I figured everybody's reading Lord of the Rings. I'm not reading Lord of the Rings because I'm not going to be that person to read it. And it sounded boring. I saw the movies and the movies were cool, but I really didn't get into it. But I should have been more intelligent than that and realized that movies are not a good indicator of a novel. And so I was like, you know what? We'll give it a shot. Let's test it out. I started learning more about the writer Tolkien. I think that's his name. Sorry if I mispronounce it. I know some of y'all are like just seething. You're like, yeah. You're ready to put on your little Gandalf hat and get on your computer and start, attacking me online because I screwed up all Lord of the Ring people. Whatever, right? But so Lord of the Rings, I'm reading it and it blew me away. I was like, man, this thing's really wicked. It was so cool. I was shocked how good it was. And anyhow, so at that time it was Christmas time, and we were driving into the Smoky Mountains to go to Dollywood in I think Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. And it's snowy, it's overcast, and the Smoky Mountains are they're very they have a lot of that evaporation of the water moisture coming off the trees, so it forms like those low-lying clouds above them. And so it was really, really cool, and it was fitting in with the story. And at the time, I was thinking about that elf book. I was like, I want to write that elf book. I'm going to do that. That sounds like fun. I want to really make that happen. I want to turn this into some fun stuff here. But anyhow, I started thinking, I was like, man, how crazy would that be to turn a Christmas book inspired by Lord of the Rings? See, there I go. I'm the guy that's going to be having a book inspired by Lord of the Rings. But my book's going to be on a holiday bookshelf, not on a sci-fi bookshelf. Or at least I hope. I don't even know if it'll hit a bookshelf. Okay. With the way this just-in-time printing goes, and I'm not filing for any Library of Congress credentials because I really don't see, I don't know. That's not my goal. Anyhow, so I'm thinking, okay, we're going to take Lord of the Rings, mixed up with this crazy magical elf story where we're out partying. I'm like, we can't be partying. You can't have that with like a Lord of the Rings kind of an inspiration and a little plastic elf and your anti-Hallmark Channel videos. So I thought, well, let's make this a little bit deeper. Let's make it a little bit more of an adventure. And so I started trying to twist it up a little bit and come up with some ideas. But I also wanted that Christmas feeling. And I also didn't want to, start bringing wizards and other stuff. So I started trying to introduce new elements into the story that would kind of build on that lore that fed into the whole Christmas mentality, kind of like bringing in some relics of my past that were like old childhood toys or things I read when I was a kid and other movies. And I'm not going to tell you what those are right now because you need to go read the book. And I don't want to sit here and, have verbal vomit and tell you all about the story. And then you're like, well, why should I ever go buy the book? You just freaking told me on this YouTube video. Kind of like the Lord of the Rings movie told me everything I knew about the movie, so I didn't go watch or go read the book. So I'm trying to avoid that. All right, but just want to give you some background information on where I'm getting the ideas for this story. It's kind of like, all right, let's start kind of getting that adventure feel to it instead of just, making some sort of crazy Christmas debauchery tale where they're just going around, woo, doing their thing. Instead, we're trying to let's build some substance to this. Let's make this an adventure. Let's add some value to the reading experience for the person. So that way there's some movement and then from there, I'll tell you about what happened next. And when I started writing it and come up with the idea for it. All right. There you have it. That's kind of some of the mentality I was going into it. And you have to understand, too, when I'm coming up with this, I haven't written a freaking word. I didn't write one word on this. I was just kind of thinking about all this stuff. And actually, that's when I started writing down notes. Because I started thinking, I was like, hey, we could do this. This could turn into something. And so that's when I started writing down some notes. And you know what? I'm going to try to find those notes, and maybe we'll talk about what those look like. As long as they're not, revealing too much. After it's published and everything else, then I'll be more than happy to. I don't know. You tell me. Maybe put some comments down below. Say, hey, quit being stupid and stingy and just tell us what the freaking book's about. All right. So anyhow, there you have it. This video's getting long enough. I know you all got important things to do, like go buy cats off Craigslist and grocery shopping and everything else. So talk to y'all later. And you're probably gonna go watch a Hallmark Channel movie. I'm sure it's that time of the season. I mean, every season there's a Hallmark Channel. So we'll talk to you later.